We are back. Estamos de regreso a mediados de semana. We are back midweek with another summary and analysis on Premier League in Spain. They're currently playing la Supercopa. En España se está jugando la Supercopa. Pero estamos de regreso a mediados de semana. We are back midweek with another summary and review focusing on Premier League. Esto es pase ambidiestro. Ambidextrous pass. Fútbol honestamente. Soccer, football honestly. Estamos de regreso a mediados de semana. Ya casi a finales de semana. Porque hoy se resumió lo que es la Premier. Pero estamos de regreso a mediados de semana para dar otro resumen y otro análisis de lo que está sucediendo en estas ligas. Y se están poniendo en lo que es apretadas en lo que es a mediados de tabla en estas dos ligas. Se están poniendo las cosas apretadas también en la liga. Pero hoy nos vamos a enfocar en lo que es la Premier, que está en la jornada 21. Y be focusing on Premier League that is on match day 21. These leagues had football this week, and today it was the last matches for these leagues. We are seeing mid-tables to start getting a little tight. Teams going up, teams going down within difference of 3-4 points. But these leagues are starting to get good, getting a little bit more tense, a little bit more friction between places. First place, second place, third place. Premier League is pretty much, we know who is the top and who is running this league at the moment. However, if we remember last year, this Premier League had the same exact team, Arsenal, running top, and they ended up losing the league. So, what will happen this year? We will see. We will see as it develops. Hopefully, Arsenal don't bottle it again. And hey, I mean, it happened once. Why can it happen again? But hopefully, it doesn't happen to Arsenal, because they've been working hard. But bottling it is part of something they are familiar with. And it sounds harsh, but look at Arsenal. Look at their history. The statistics are there. So, is it me saying it? No, I'm just making it obvious more than it already is. And again, I will keep saying this. Like Pep Guardiola said, como Pep Guardiola dijo, the league matters in January. La liga para Pep, que es la Premier, importa en enero. Enero ha comenzado y Pep ha empatado 3 partidos. 3 partidos ha empatado Pep Guardiola. 3 partidos en el mes de enero ha empatado Pep Guardiola. ¿Se le está poniendo difícil? No creo. Pero a la misma vez, este Manchester City ha recogido muchas lesiones. Is it getting hard for Pep with 3 ties? I don't think so, but this Man City is picking up a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries for this Manchester City. But we'll start with the Premier League. Premier League that is on match day 21. Premier League that is on match day 21. Vamos a comenzar con la Premier, que está en la jornada 21. Esta Premier League se está empezando a poner un poco tensa. This Premier League is starting to get a little tense. What it is in the mid-tables, you're going to see a lot of teams being tight on points. A lot of teams just being behind by 3, 4, 5 points, which is usually 1 or 2 matches. 2 matches can get you 6 points. A tie gets you 1 point. And, losing and winning can be everything when it comes to the mid-table. But this Premier League that is on match day 21 was done today. The Premier League match day 21 concluded today. Arsenal against Liverpool that ended up tie. But we're going to start with the first game of this match day 21 in the Premier League. We're going to start with a West Ham against a Nottingham Forest. A West Ham that had a goal, that was scored from Murillo, an own goal from Murillo in minute 12, and a Nottingham Forest that saw goals from Nicolas Dominguez in minute 55th and Morgan Gibbs White in minute 89th. A huge away win for Forest. West Ham took an early lead via a bizarre own goal by Murillo. Again, Murillo was the one who gave West Ham the lead, an own goal by Murillo. But Forest controlled the middle and second half. Morgan Gibbs White stuck a late winner to push Forest further away from the relegation zone and leave West Ham languishing in the 18th place. A Forest that earned a massive away win in the relegation fight, and West Ham's poor run continues, increasing the pressure on the manager. This manager went from a club that was struggling to another club that it feels like he's making the club struggle. That's just my perspective. Is it the coach? Is it the players? Is it what he brings into the teams? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, if he goes to a third team and then that happens, then hey, the answer is pretty much there. But it puts pressure on the manager. It puts pressure on Nuno, and it's looking rough for West Ham. And Forest that is in the 17th place with 7 points clear of the relegation zone. They go clear of the relegation zone. They are in the 17th place. It's usually 18th, 19th, and 20th place that go relegated. But Forest Ham goes clear 7 points from relegation zone. Then after that, we have a Bournemouth against a Tottenham Hotspur. A Bournemouth that went 3-2 against Tottenham. A Bournemouth that saw goals from Emva Nielsen in minute 22. Groupie in minute 36, and Antonio Semenyo in the 90th +4 complementary time. And the Spurs saw goals from Matthew Tell in minute 5 and Joao Palhinha in minute 78. This was a 5-goal thriller with another late twist. Spurs start brightly with an early goal from Matthew Tell, but Bournemouth roared back to lead 2-1 at halftime. Joao Palhinha thought he had rescued a point for Spurs with a late equalizer that came through a bicycle kick. The energy was there, the response was there, but closing the game was just not there for Tottenham. And only for Antonio Semenyo to smash home a 94th minute winner for the Cherries. Spurs defensive instability highlight again. Bournemouth is strong in wide areas and counterattacks, and Tottenham dropped more points in the top 4 race. Bournemouth climbed toward mid-table safety. Tottenham inconsistency all over the place. All over the place for this Tottenham. They have the quality, they have the players, but there's no... What are they missing? What are they really missing? There could be so much, but they just inconsistency all over the place. All over the place. But this was a perfect farewell for Semenyo, and with a goal for what is now his former club, because as we know, he went to Manchester City. And the inconsistency for Tottenham continues with struggles of enthusiasm and determination to compete. Last week, I spoke and said that they are struggling building from behind, having structure, defensive structure in general. Tottenham they need some type of injection when it comes to the game. They are all over the place. Tottenham's struggle is 100%. Some games they're there, some games they're not. Some games it's just like there's 11 players. Some of them have the will to play, and others are just playing because I guess they just play. Tottenham is all over the place. They are all over the place. But Bournemouth is in the 15th place, and Tottenham is in the 14th place. Moving on, we have Brentford, who won 3-0 against Sunderland. A Brentford that saw goal from Igor Thiago in the minute 30th. In the 65 minutes too, he scored a brace. And they saw a goal from Yarmolenko in the 73rd minute. A dominant performance from the Beast. Igor Thiago was the star, scoring twice to take his season tally to 16 goals. Second top goal scorer in the Premier League. Sunderland, who have had a solid season, they're in the 10th place, were simply outclassed by Brentford's intensity. Brentford that climbed to 5th place with European hopes, and Brentford dominated the goal creation and shots. Brentford, who has clinical finishing, and Sunderland's first heavy defeat in weeks after 5 games without losing, and their momentum finds a stumble. Sunderland has been doing great, but this time Brentford is the one who stops Sunderland in their momentum. Igor Thiago becomes the highest scoring Brazilian in the Premier League. Brazil, Ancelotti, if you ever get this out there, you have to get this guy in there. You have to get this guy in that Brazilian team. You have to get this guy in that squad for the World Cup. You have to. I know it might come from a random person, but this guy is putting up numbers in the Premier League. Ancelotti, you have coached in this league. You know how hard it is to score 15 goals. Well, guess what? This guy is only on match day 21 and he has 16 goals. He's the second highest scorer and he's the highest scorer Brazilian forward in the Premier League. You have to get him in this team. You have to get him in this team. You have to include him for that World Cup 2026 squad for Brazil. That's all I can say. Igor, I am trying to push this. I am trying to help you get in this Brazil team just by saying it, by keep repeating it. That's all I can do. Your performance is speaking for itself. It doesn't really need anybody to speak for you, but the performance is speaking for itself. 16 goals, amazing. Running it, and you are going at it. You are catching up to Erling Haaland, who is a scoring machine. You are catching up to this guy. So if that doesn't speak for itself, then I don't know. I'm just trying to vouch for you, Igor, that you are doing great and you gotta keep it going. Stay healthy, and you will keep on going in this Premier League and helping Brentford. But Brentford is in the 5th place, and Sunderland is currently in the 10th place. Then after that, we have a Crystal Palace against a Aston Villa. We have a Crystal Palace against an Aston Villa. This was a stalemate, Selhurst Park. Villa, whose third, missed a chance to close the gap on City. A Villa that is on third by goal difference. While Palace would be happier with their point to stop their recent losing streak, Villa had a higher goal creation but lacked final product, and Palace were disciplined defensively. This was a low-tempo match with a few big chances, and Villa dropped points in the top 4 chase, where they're currently third. But like I said again, not by points, but by goal difference. They have the same amount of points as Manchester City. But Palace earned a valuable clean sheet, and Crystal Palace is in the 13th place, and Aston Villa is in the 3rd place. Moving on, we go to Everton against Wolves. And Everton and Wolves are tied 1-1. And Everton that saw goals from Michael Keane in the 17th minute, and Wolves that saw goals from Matheus Main in the 69th minute. A greedy draw at the new Hill Dickinson Stadium. Michael Keane gave Everton the lead, and a new signing, Jack Grealish, providing an assist again, was influential but couldn't find the winner. And Wolves snatch a point through Matheus Main to keep their survival hopes alive. Though they remain bottom of the table, Wolves created better counter-attacking chances, even like in the match overall. And the host had Michael Keane and Jack Grealish sent off in the closing stages, as the spoils were shared at Hill Dickinson Stadium. And Wolves remained bottom but showed resilience. And Wolves find themselves on a 3-game streak without losing, and then Everton that has only seen one win in their last 6 Premier League games. Everton is in 12th place, and Wolves are still rooted at the bottom of the table in the 20th place. Then we move on to a Fulham against a Chelsea. Fulham wins at home 2-1 against a Chelsea. A Fulham that sees goals from Raúl Jimenez in the 54th minute and sees goal from Harry Wilson in the 80th minute. And Chelsea that sees a goal from Liam Delap. That's his first goal for Chelsea in the 71st minute. The crisis at Chelsea deepens. Despite a goal from the summer signing Liam Delap, the Blues were second best at Craven Cottage. Raúl Jimenez opened the scoring, and Harry Wilson capitalized on the defensive fragility to secure the win. Fulham more efficient in the final third. Chelsea's defensive errors were decisive, with a red card for Cucurella for his action of holding Wilson, denying him a goal opportunity. In this case, Cucurella, come on, man. Something I don't understand about players is when you do such thing and you act like you didn't do anything, or like, wow, I can't believe it. Dude, you know what you do. I understand you're trying to do your best, but you know what you did. You hold Wilson back. You literally try. And Wilson, yes, he kind of sells it. That's just me looking at it from a neutral point. But you know Cucurella, you know you held him back. You know you tried to hold him and grab his arm so he could not go past you. He was almost going past you, and you hold him. Lucky that it wasn't a penalty, because it started outside and he drops right at the edge of the box. So Cucurella, come on. This is a professional men's sport. Come on. I mean, you're trying to play it off when it's too obvious. You can act like you don't know and you didn't do such thing. I don't know what has changed in today's professional soccer, professional football, but the players are becoming a little bit too much of a dramatic, a little bit too like a show. This is not a show. Play the game. Nobody's saying fight, but play the game. Be physical when you have to, and when it hurts, it hurts. I mean, what can you do? If it hurts, it hurts. You take your time and you lay on the ground, but play your game. And that goes for every single professional football player out there. Play the game. Don't sell it as an acting show. Do not sell it as an acting show. Cucurella, you messed up and you acted like you didn't know what you did, or it was out of this world. But Chelsea have now won just one of their last 9 league games. And Chelsea also fall out of the European position, but Fulham strength mid-table position. And Chelsea slips to 8th place, and pressure is mounting heavily on management. Fulham is in 9th place, but Chelsea also get their new manager, Leon Resonor, who was announced, and he saw his first game from the stands as an spectator. And one thing I will say, and I noticed from this guy, is when Pedro Neto had the ball on that left wing, and we noticed, those for that watched the game, you notice that certain players only stick to their game the same way. Pedro Neto is that guy that goes on the left wing, tries to cut in, tries to cut out, tries to cut in, tries to cut out. And guess what? Leon Resonor already noticed that. He noticed that. He makes a gesture. There's a video going on online on social media where he notices that. He goes, I believe this manager will fix those type of things. There's things in football that you cannot become predictable. Yes, you become predictable and you still get away with the play. This is something I have said before, because of how fast you are. However, there's going to be defenders out there that will be able to figure you out and be time you the right way. They will be able to time you, and even your pace is not going to be enough because they will execute what they have to be able to contain you. So your game has to be versatile. Your game cannot be too predictable. Your game has to be versatile. But Fulham wins 2-1 against Chelsea. Fulham goes 9th place. Chelsea goes 8th place after being 5th, 4th. Chelsea dropped to 8th place. Then after that, we have a Manchester City against a Brighton. A Manchester City that ties against a Brighton 1-1. And a City that sees goal from Erling Haaland in the 41st minute through a penalty. And Brighton that sees a goal from Mitoma in the 59th minute. A massive dent in City's title run. Erling Haaland scored his 20th goal of the season to put the Man City ahead. But they lacked their usual control, still holding a lot of the ball in this game. And Brighton grew into the game and deserved an equalizer. And they got that equalizer through Mitoma on a brilliant self-goal act. The Etihad crowd was left frustrated as City struggled to break down the Seagulls' low block in the final stages. City heavy goal creation advantage. They had a lot of creation, but they were just not able to take advantage of it. And Brighton defended deep, and they counter well. City wasted multiple big chances. City lose ground on Arsenal. And Guardiola frustrated with the finishing from his team. And Pep, who said that in January is when the title run matters, has tied 3 games in a row, losing ground to Arsenal by 6 points. Man City second, tied with points with Aston Villa. But Man City is second due to having more goals than Aston Villa. That comes down to the goal difference. And Brighton is 11th place. At the same time, Man City is facing some type of injury crisis. Joshua Guardiola, he's injured with a tibia fracture, and he might likely need or does need surgery, and he might be done for the season. Then you have Semenyo, who has a calf injury, and he might be back late February, March. Then you have Ruben Diaz, who had a hamstring injury, who also might be back mid-February. And then you have a Mateo Kovacic, who has an Achilles ankle injury. That might be back February, March. And you have John Stones with a thigh leg injury, and his return is unknown. And then you have Oscar Bob with a hamstring, and he's likely to be back mid to late January. We're about to hit that mid area in January, so he might be back, if not pushing it in February. And Semenyo again is a Manchester City player. But Guardiola already announced it. Manchester City already announced it. The guy has already signed his contract, and this player will be playing for Manchester City. Again, do they really need him? According to the injuries, yes. Overall, without taking injuries into account, no. City has a well-rounded squad. I believe they do. I believe that they have a well-rounded squad. But if you can have it, why not? That's the world we live in today. That's what football has come to. If they can purchase it and they can have it, why not? But City tied their 3rd game in a row. Brighton, who was resilient and played compact in a low block and was well on the counter, they tied this game against a Manchester City to give them the 3rd tie in the month of January. Then moving on, we have a Burnley against a Manchester United. A game that ended up tied 2-2. Burnley saw goals from Aiden Heaven. It was an own goal from Aiden Heaven in 13th minute And they saw a goal from Jadon Anthony in the 66th minute. Then Manchester United saw a brace from Benjamin Šeško. The first goal came in the 50th minute, and then the second goal came in the 60th minute. A frustrating night for United at Turf Moor. They fell behind early but turned it around quickly in the second half thanks to a brace from Benjamin Šeško, who looked sharp. However, defensively lapse allowed Burnley's Jadon Anthony to equalize. And United remains 7th place, struggling for consistency. United again conceded late. Burnley were strong on the set pieces. United defensive issues highlighting again. Burnley gained morale boosting draw. Burnley is 19th. Man United is 7th place. And Šeško reappears with a brace. Bruno comes back early from injury. I don't know how, because they said he was going to be out. But I guess the guy is superhuman. So he's back. He's back. And that's great for Manchester United that he's back and he's able to make this starting 11. So Bruno, that, is back early from injury and plays in a more creative role, somewhere where he should be. Just know that he looks better in the position he was playing in that creative role. So should he be anywhere else? I don't think so. I think he creates. I think that at the beginning of the season, he started a little sluggish. Then throughout the season, when Amorim tried to fix his positioning, give him more of a creative role. But in this game, you see that he comes into a way more creative role, and he's doing it. He is creating danger and options for Manchester United, and Fernandes has become the key player when it comes to creating opportunities and having the most assists or creations in this Manchester United team. But for Manchester United, on this Manchester United, for those fans that are out there who are fed up and on how the past 10 years have gone for Manchester United, because let's be honest, it's been a couple of years and it's been around 10 years. Just know that the ownership of this club, the ownership of a club, not just specifically this club, Man United, but the ownership of a club, the ownership of a club will always dictate which way clubs go. And this does not only apply to Manchester United again. This goes for all the clubs out there, all the professional football clubs out there that compete and are willing to compete. The ownership of a club matters. 75 to 100% of the time, it will dictate which way the club goes. And again, this does not only apply to Manchester United. This applies to every club, every football club out there that competes in professional football. Things have to change from the ownership. Football changes, things in the market change, players change. Football in general, the sport itself, just the sport itself changes. So things have to change in the ownership. And the fans have been outspoken, especially in Manchester United. We're talking about Manchester United. But when it comes to ownership has to adapt. The football has to adapt. The club has to adapt to the current situation of what football is in general. But in this Manchester United specifically, things have to change from the ownership. And the fans have been outspoken. But after the fans have been outspoken, what is the next option to follow for the fans? I'll leave that up to the fans to find out. Some saying that they're trying to get the ownership to swap hands. That was the talk last year and the year before, and nothing has been solved. And Man United has had a lot of income, a lot of profit. So is the ownership willing to let go? or not? And for what reasons they are not willing to let go? Somebody has to look at this Manchester United, some owner out there that wants to take the venture of helping this team succeed more than they already have. Because in football, yes, Man United is a legendary club. It's a legendary club. But in football, you have to maintain yourself relevant in the present. The future, you think about the future, you keep yourself relevant in the present. The past is done. It doesn't count. It only gives other teams the respect. But this Manchester United has lost respect from other clubs because they are not where they were 10 years, 15 years ago. And it's really hard to say that, but it's the truth. It's the solid truth of what is going on in this Manchester United team, who have an interim manager that is Fletcher. But another result with or without Amorim just shows what's going on. Things have to change in this club. And that's it for Manchester United that tie another game against a team that is in the bottom of the table. Moving on, we have a Newcastle against Leeds. A Newcastle that wins 4-3. This is a 5-goal thriller. A Newcastle that wins 4-3 against Leeds United. A Newcastle that sees goals from Harvey Barnes in the 36th minute. And then who scored a brace, by the way, who scored in the 36th minute. And then he scored in the 102 minute. There was 12 minutes of complementary time in this game. And then Newcastle see goals from Joelinton in the 54th minute and Bruno Guimaraes in the 90th minute. And Leeds see a brace from Brennan Aronson. The first goal for Aronson came in the 32nd minute, and then the second goal came in the 79th minute. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored again. This guy is keeping himself on fire. He's going every game in the last past 7-8 games. He has been there. He has been keeping himself relevant for Leeds, and he scores in the 45th +5 through a penalty. Undoubtedly the match of the round. Leeds led twice at St. James Park with former Everton striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin continuing his resurgence. And however, Newcastle staged a dramatic late comeback. Bruno Guimaraes equalized in the 90th minute, and Harvey Barnes stuck a sensational winner deep into stoppage time in the 102nd minute to break Leeds' heart. The match saw 4 goals scored after the 75th minute. Newcastle high-tempo attack Leeds collapse defensively late on, and Newcastle moving to a European contention. Leeds remain near relegation zone, 8 points clear from the relegation zone though. Newcastle is in the 6th place and Leeds is in the 16th place. Newcastle has been really strong at home. I've been saying this. Newcastle have kept themselves resilient at home. They have either gotten a tie or they have gotten wins at home. So this side, Newcastle, is keeping themselves strong at home and defending their turf. And now they have the hopes to reach European football. We are only at the middle of the season. There's exactly 17 games left. It's 38 games in the season. And we are at the middle of the Premier League. This Newcastle still has their hopes there to go and get more points to get into European football. Then after that, we have the game and the last game that summarizes this match day 21 for the Premier League. We have Arsenal against Liverpool. And for all of those that watched this game, it concluded today, January 8th, Thursday. This was a goalless draw at the Emirates, And Arsenal controlled the first half, pressing well and creating the better looks. Saka repeatedly threatened Alisson and into early saves, and Arsenal created the more dangerous first half chances. A poor Saliba back pass left Raya stranded, and Conor Bradley chipped him, but he hit the crossbar. Liverpool took over in the second half. It was a game where Arsenal controlled the first half, and then Liverpool grew into the game in the second half, and they started controlling the ball and the possession and creation, but either team were not able to put in any goals and or be clinical as they needed to just take these 3 points. But Arsenal took over in the second half, but still failed to register a shot on target. In a balanced overall with momentum shifting after halftime, Liverpool extended their unbeaten run to 9 matches in the Premier League, and Arsenal extended their lead at the top with 6 points, but missed the big chance to go 8 points clear. Arsenal is in first place, and Liverpool is in the fourth place. This Premier League is getting tight. Again, Arsenal's running away with 6 points at the moment. They were not able to get those 8 points because they did not win. They tied. Then Manchester City and Aston Villa are tied with the same amount of points, 43. But Manchester City has more goals. They are a team that has a lot of goals. Erling Haaland has 20 goals this season. Then Aston Villa with 43 points. They only have 9-goal difference. Man City has a 26-goal difference. Liverpool is in fourth place with 35 points. Brentford is in fifth place with 33 points. From Liverpool to Brentford, 2 points. But then if we look at this Premier League table, on match day 21, we have Liverpool in fourth place with 35 points. And then if you go all the way to 12th place, who's Everton, there's only a 6-point difference. Liverpool with 35, Brentford with 33, Newcastle in 6th place with 32, Manchester United in 7th place with 32, Chelsea in 8th place with 31, Fulham in 9th place with 31, Sunderland in 10th place with 30, Brighton in 11th place with 29, and Brighton in 11th place with 29, and Everton in 12th place with 29. From 4th place to 12th place, there's only a 6-point difference. From 4th place to 7th place is only a 3-point difference. From 4th place to 10th place is only a 5-point difference. From 4th place to 12th place, even all the way to 14th place, there is literally 8-9-point difference. That's 3 matches. This mid-table area is getting tight. It's getting tight. Pockets are starting to be created. Newcastle and Manchester United are tied on points. Chelsea and Fulham are tied on points. And then you have a Sunderland in the 10th place, a Brighton in 11th place, a Everton in the 12th place. Sunderland has 30 points. And then you have a Bournemouth in the 15th place with 26 points. That's literally a 4-point difference. That's 1 win, 1 tie. The mid-table is starting to get tight. But how far will Arsenal run away with this Premier League? That's the question. How far will Arsenal run away with this Premier League? Last year, at the same time, they were top of the league, and they ended up battling it. This is not to throw any shade. It's just how things went last year. Arsenal struggle. Hopefully, this season they don't, because they haven't won this Premier League in so many years. So will Arsenal keep themselves consistent? for their own sake, hopefully they do. Manchester City just keeps seeing ties. Aston Villa couldn't cope with Manchester City tying because they tied too. But guess what? This week, this midweek, match day 21, the big six, they all stumbled with ties. They all stumbled with ties. You have a Tottenham. You have a Tottenham that lost. Then you have a Chelsea that lost. Then you have a Manchester City that tied. Then you have a Manchester United that tied. And then you have an Arsenal, Liverpool that tied. So you have two of the big six that lose, and then the other three tie. And then two of them, who is Arsenal and Liverpool, went to head, and they ended up tying. Notice ever since match day 18, all these teams have been tying. What is the coincidence? But that's just something to look at. Premier League starting to get tight in the middle of the table. Arsenal go clear 6 points. Man City is not able to get a win. Brighton holds them back. Aston Villa stumble. They're not able to go over Manchester City. They're not able to win against Crystal Palace, who has been having a hard time lately. But that's all for the Premier League. The Premier League is starting to take shape. Can Arsenal run away? We will see. Hopefully they do, for their own sake. Esto es todo por hoy. Esto es todo por parte de Pase Ambidiestro. Ambidextrous Pass. Fútbol honestamente. Soccer, football honestly. Gracias. Thank you for everyone out there. Y please, y por favor, no se olviden de darle like y suscribirse. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This is all for today. Thank you for the ones that are always here with me. Have a great day. Have a great end of the week. Have a good one. Thank you.